like a cone. I talk to anybody, breathing, got the price in the soul. Nigga, you nice what I'm told. All of my buyers, they know where to go for their cologne. I picture them and they going home with this one. My ambition's so intense, it's ridiculous how I finish that sentence. Every time I leave out with a bag, the bottles go missing. Yeah. So I be who I be. That's me. That's Juicy J, nigga. And shorty know she better say that juicy. You gotta know if you stay.
All right. Enough of that. It's 8:30. We in here. It's the Rise and Impact meeting, man. Get excited, man. I'm Merch Life J, motivational, inspirational speaker for parentpreneurs across the globe. What up, Deus? How you feel?
Peace, guys. A beautiful day to have a beautiful day, man. I'm charged up, ready to go. How you feeling?
I'm excited, man. I had to get in my bag. I had to go tell myself who I am, man. I was about to say who I was. I had to go tell myself who I am, man. Then I had to play a really old song to remind myself to keep going, man. Just keep going. You feel me?
What song is that?
That song I just heard. That song I was just listening to.
Big bet.
Yeah, I feel like I need to go in and remix it. Probably take the curse words out, change some things around, update it a little bit. But that's a classic, man. That's a classic. So I'll probably be just I probably listen to that at times like this when I need to like reboot my attitude. You feel me? But it's all good. Just like a computer, sometimes you just got to restart that thing. You already know.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. Sometimes you got to take yourself back to appreciate what you've done thus far. So good on you, man.
Yes, sir. So let me change this banner. All right, and we in here.
Proximity rule. That's a good discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I already had this one planned for the day, but you know what we talked about with Malik earlier. The focus, follow one course until successful, the FOCUS, that's for tomorrow. So yes, sir. That's the meeting that he gave me when we talked earlier. So yeah. Man, the proximity rule, man. This is a deep John. This is what you know about the proximity rule, Deus?
So I got a couple things, but what my good brothers always say, in order to become a Super Saiyan guy, you gotta be surrounded by 5 Super Saiyans. So the way I think about it is the people that you're around, whatever they consume, whatever they do, is going to be a natural part of you. Whether you agree with it or not, even if you don't necessarily like it, it's going to be something that reminds you of you or something that you have to put up with and bear. So whatever they on, that's kind of what you on too.
Yeah, man. The biggest part of that is whether you agree with it or not, right? That's the biggest part because you absolutely right, man. So the proximity rule is set up like the 5 people that you see first when you wake up every day, or the 5 people that you're around the most. I've heard it both ways. So the 5 people you're around the most are the people that you will become, meaning like a piece of them will become a part of you, right? So that doesn't necessarily mean just the positive parts or just the things you perceive as negative. That means that whatever parts you focus on the most, whatever parts you give the most energy to, are going to be a part of you, right? Because you know where your energy goes, that's what grows. Now, I do have a challenge to that commonly said or commonly known part about that, right? Certain people believe that the perceived negative or positive qualities can be interchangeable, right? Like if you're around someone, then you might get negative or you might get positive. I personally believe that there's nothing you can do about whether it's good or bad. I personally believe that you being around a person, no matter if it's good or bad, it's going to rub off on you. What do you think about that, Dave?
When you say it's going to rub off on you, what you mean?
Meaning it's going to become a part of you. Like, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing it, but it does mean that you are suffering the effects of them doing it, even if you're not doing it. Whether you suffer it through the project, like through them, like eating meat, for example. Just because I don't eat the meat, if I'm around 5 meat eaters, all of them hormones that's unbalanced in their bodies, I got to deal with it in some way. You see what I mean? So I think that no matter what, even if, because people have told me before, well, if you focus on the positive things, you'll only get the positive things out of the 5 people you're around the most. And I don't believe that's true. What do you think?
I see what you're saying. Actually, this is a really good topic of conversation. So, what I think that the truth is, because of the way the universe works, or the way that I acknowledge it works. So, before there was matter, there was mind. So, before there was things, there were thoughts or some type of spatial energy. So, if you can be aware of this, like the fact that the things that we consider material, some people call it 3 dimensional, but it's really 5 dimensional. If you can grasp that concept, then your daily practice isn't absorbing the things around you, but it's alchemizing the things around you. So you almost still have to communicate with them and be very aware of it, but you kind of don't draw on it. You don't hold it against them, but you are aware of it, and you kind of make them aware of it. Like, yeah, I'm suffering for you. Like, yeah, I'm alchemizing what you putting out. Oh, that meat getting to you again. Like, you don't pick at them on it, but you make it very known, so that instead of, suffering from it, instead of absorbing their gut microbiome that comes out of their body, you kind of just politicking with them about it. You're growing them, so you're vesting yourself full service in them. So you're providing back to the universe, quote unquote. You're creating space for them to be better, and you actually heal yourself in it. Now, there is that point on the other side of that where they start pulling a little bit too much from you. And I think we've all been there too. That's just about keeping your boundaries. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I think that's definitely a good take on it, man. But before we move forward, what up, Coach? What up, Honeybee?
What's going on? How you doing today?
I'm excited, Grand Rising.
No doubt. How you doing, Honeybee? Well, she might be busy. I don't want to. I appreciate you coming though. I invited her. I want her to come and check out the show. But definitely the proximity rule. It seems like to me we about to be talking about some team building out here. Getting on it, keeping people close to you that you want to make the real actionable moves. Learning how to decipher who is, about doing a business and who's about procrastination. So I'm hoping I'm in the right line with the proximity rule.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we was talking about how, like, what is the proximity rule, right? So we were talking about how the proximity rule is known as you becoming the 5 people that you're around the most, right? Or I've heard it this way too. You're becoming the 5 people that you see, the first 5 people that you see when you wake up every day, right? And I said that my question today was, does he agree with the notion, the widely spoken notion that you will be around 5 people, but they might have negative and positive qualities. People say that you can control which qualities you absorb. Meaning that if you only focus on their positive qualities, right? Like if you're around a thief, but he's good at money management, right? But you don't focus on the fact that he steals. You focus on the fact that he's good with money management. Will you then become a thief, or will you then suffer from the things that he has stolen? And I look at it like this. My take on it is that I disagree, man. I don't think you can only focus on the positivity and that's all you'll get from that person. I believe that whatever that person is into is going to affect you in some way, shape, or form. What do you think, Coach?
I believe you're 100% right about that because, but at the same time, I do believe in algebra 100%. Like a lot of people don't get it, but you know how you might have one parent that's negative, you might have one parent that's positive.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you look at algebra, they're going to produce a negative child. It's just that simple. That's why you have to be particular who you match up with. So if you are a negative person, go find you a negative person so y'all can produce that positive child. Because That's if you know you're a negative person, that's the only way you can produce that child. So I'm just telling you some real stuff, yo.
No, that's
So
facts.
two positive people go produce a positive child that's going to be about getting good things in life. So that's why when they say came from the mud, I'm hoping that's what people mean. Like, I came from nothing. I came from parents that won't even there for me. So them parents that just won't there, we just got to chalk them off as negative parents. But you came and grew through that concrete. That flower that grew through concrete. So that's what I mean by that. Keep algebra in your mind and in your soul because it's real out here.
Hey, that's definitely a good take on that, man. Wow, I never thought of it like that. Deus, do you have anything for that? For what Coach just said? Because I want to say something, but I want to hear what you have first.
I like what Coach said in a way. I don't necessarily agree with it. Like, I don't see two negative people making a positive child and one negative person. Like, I don't know. You can save a child basically by doing the right things for it. And it's not necessarily about the person. Like, you're not a negative person. You're choosing to have negative habits and subscribe to the negative way of thinking. Quote unquote negative. I don't really like that word either. In math, there is no such thing as negativity. Negativity is something that white people gave us. Like, you either have zero or something or you have some amount of something. There's no such thing as having an absence of something. I don't know, man.
I like your perspective, but you also got to remember that's the whole reason why they tell you are a product of your environment. So if you're living in a house and you have one parent that's positive, and then the other parent that's negative, and their negativity is always overbearing the positivity, that child is really going to pick up mostly on that negativity and end up following that. That's the reason why I was saying if you got a house where both parents are negative, that child might grow up and be like, man, I can't stand neither one of the shit that my parents was doing. I'm never drinking. I'm never doing drugs. I'm never doing this. And next thing you know, their life is positive because they made the right decisions where they've learned from all of the bad decisions that were around them. You know what I mean? Or they might have moved from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that leads us back to what Deus was saying before, because he said that it's really about you alchemizing what's going on around you. So, like, you got the child that's like, dang, my dad is super duper negative. My mom is always positive, right? Or what I perceive as negative and positive. I have an example, right? Right? There was this father, a single father, and he was a drunk. He was always drinking, always beating on his wife. The wife left him. Now he a single dad now, right? And he has two sons. One son grows up to be just like him. One son is a drunk. He ain't got no job. He ain't got no income. He just get drunk all day. That's what he do. The other son saw what his dad was into, saw the results of his dad's life, and he decided that he was going to go to college, become a business owner, and now he's a Fortune 500 company owner, right? Both of these children grew up in the same house. One of these children alchemized what was going on and said, hey, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to do the opposite. The other child fell into it like most people do, because I agree with both of y'all. I agree with Coach saying that the influence of parents is very, very, very detrimental to children. It can be detrimental or it can be life-saving, right? But I believe in my mind and in my heart that it's really up to the person that is being affected by these things to use them for good or use them for bad. Now, when I say that, I mean, you'll still be affected by the bad or negative things, right? This is why I said in the beginning that I don't believe you can only you can be around a negative person and only be affected by the positive things that they do. That's not possible. But I do believe that you can take those negative things and know what you don't want, and that can repel you from doing those things. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, April? Good morning.
What up, April?
Good morning.
Grand Rising.
I'm good.
So we were talking about the proximity rule. You want to give us a quick recap, Deus?
Definitely. So what we presented was the proximity rule is essentially you as an individual or anybody as an individual absorbing the qualities and traits and habits and things of that nature of the top 5 people in their life or the first 5 people they see every day. I think that first 5 people you see every day is something like for a corporate job or something.
That's interesting. I like that.
Yes, sir. I mean, yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. And definitely on top of that, we're talking about as far as like the like-minded people that you want to build your team, man. That's what I took from it when I first read it. I was like, sound like to me we're talking about team building today, because that proximity rule is very important. You want people that's going to be actionable and making moves when the time is there, like no procrastination, but actually on point.
Yeah, definitely, because what they say about the ship, loose lips sink ships, right? So like basically when it comes to building a team, the proximity rule is very important to be aware of. It's important to be aware of because even if you have a team member that is like slacking, if you will, right? It's up to you to be able to alchemize that, you know, that type of action, and you can make them a better person. You can make your team a better team, but you can also,
And what?
it also gives you the room to prune away, if you will. You know how you got dead leaves on your crop.
Yeah.
If you prune away those leaves, you have more energy to give to the crop, to the part of the crop that is actually growing. What you got for us, April?
I'm saying, like, what about what do you think about surrounding yourself with people who are actually like smarter than you? I've always heard if you're the smartest person in the room, it's time for you to leave the room. So
Good. I'm glad you think like that, because that's how can you grow if you're the smartest person in the room.
right,
So I like that.
right. Yeah. So I try to do that. I have a friend who does business consulting, and this woman is just brilliant, and she's been helping me a lot because I'm disorganized. But she's in the military. She's retired from the military. She was in there for like 20 years, so she has like a discipline that I don't have a discipline. I don't have that. She's very organized, so she helps me with the discipline, organized, researching, checking stuff. Whenever she sees me kind of step in, like she told me recently, she goes, "I've seen you for the beginning of the year. I didn't even realize she was paying attention." She goes, "You started 7 projects," and she goes, "I can't say you failed at any of them." She goes, "The only thing you failed at is being consistent." I would have never picked up on that. I would have never paid attention to how important that was. She says, if you were just consistent, even with one of them, you would have hit your goals already.
Yep.
So you need people like that.
A mentor, definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking of mentor,
Go ahead, man.
I was going to say, speaking of mentor, somebody just commented on YouTube. She said, as I spend time with my mentor who has, without saying, taken on that role, I adapted his practices and strengths. Now, I don't want to be big-headed. I don't know if she's talking about me, but she be here every single day. So thank you for those flowers. And I do want to say, adapting to a mentor's practices, or adapting to just, somebody that you look up to, is one of the best ways to practice the proximity. Like, you don't have to literally be in proximity of the person, like, physically. What I'm saying is that reading a book, learning from someone that you don't even know, is, like you're saying, April, is a good way to improve yourself, especially when you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, because like you said, being the smartest person in the room isn't the quickest way to growth. I do believe you can still grow that way. Oh, she said, yeah, I'm talking about you. All right, get excited. You already know. I do believe you can still grow that way, and I'll touch on that after Deus's comment, but I don't believe it's the fastest way to grow. What you got for us, Deus?
Kind of on that same vein, being the smartest person in the room doesn't necessarily mean knowing the most in the room. It means being the most willing to absorb new information. The smartest thing you can do is be a student. And I think that's what we forget a lot of the times. So if you can keep your good growth mindset, you can learn from anybody. So you may be the absolute smartest person in the room, but everybody in that room has individual talents and experiences that bring something to you. So the way to actually be the smartest person in the room is to listen and absorb from them, check your own observations and bias of them, and grow from there. And then I think what they're trying to say when they're saying don't be the smartest person in the room is don't be the only person operating like that. Because if you're the only person operating like that, then you're surrounding yourself with people who are not actually trying to grow. So now your frequency is off. And I use the term frequency loosely in this.
I kind of look at it like somebody. I'm glad you made that analogy because I'm looking at it like somebody going to the gym. Now imagine somebody like me that's around like I used to be 205. No, actually I used to be like 215, and then I got down to 205. Now I'm down to like 185, right? So my thing is, it's like me going to the gym and I go around. It's like 4 other dudes, and all of them strong as I don't know what, muscles poking everywhere, and I'm just coming in looking regular. You know what I mean? That's giving me something to work towards. You know what I mean? Like trying to catch up, get where they get the knowledge that they got to put out there to get certain parts of my body right. You know what I mean? But if I go in there and there's some other dudes that looking like me, where can I get that knowledge from them? They're not gonna know because they haven't done it. So that's where I agree with April with what she's saying as far as like she likes to be around people that that she can deem that's smarter than her, so that way she can have something to soak up. You know what I mean?
And this is why I always say it ain't about how many pages you've read. It's about how many pages you've actually applied. Because you can learn something from someone that has not done it yet, but they just know how to do it, right? So like, for example, a fitness coach that's scrawny, super scrawny, but he's been through the whole weight regimen in high school. He used to bodybuild when he was 18 and he don't look like that no more, but he might have the knowledge that you need to get that body that you're seeking. You know what I mean? Like a child. I learn from my children on a daily basis. Like my child telling me that, why you don't just, when I said, every day when I wake up, I gotta create the thumbnail and I gotta make the post scheduled for the impact meeting to be on YouTube and Facebook. And my 11-year-old is like, why you don't just do all 5 of them on Sunday? An 11-year-old is saying this to me. You know what I mean? And he don't know how to work. He don't know how to do none of this that I'm doing. But he knows that, hey, if you get something done beforehand, you see what I'm saying? So I feel like a person that has the knowledge is always going to be able to teach no matter what position it looks like. Like the proximity rule really has a lot to do with what's on the inside. You know what I mean? Not really so much on the outside. What up, the Roscoe One? How you feel, Hood Over Hollywood?
Hey.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, everybody.
Thank y'all for coming through, man. We were talking about the proximity rule. One more recap real quick. I appreciate you, brother.
For sure. Let's see. So we're talking about a proximity rule again. I gave that brief overview. Basically, you are absorbing, you are becoming the average of the first 5 people you either see or the top 5 people in your life. We've been talking about team building. Coach brought up some good points in this April as well about building the team around you, not being the smartest person in the room, being able to take and absorb from the people around you. We also talked about learning from everything and being that person that is the quote unquote smartest person in the room or not, and what that actually looks like. And now we're here.
Yes, sir. And my man Hood Over Hollywood, I know you probably got something for the smartest person in the room and how you do you believe that you can still grow if you are the smartest person in the room? Or do you believe that it's not possible?
Actually, I believe that you can still grow.
There's no such thing as the smartest person in the room because you're constantly learning. You know, we have never, I'm talking about humanity as collectively, we have not figured out the natural world. So the natural world, natural sciences, so there's no such thing as that. And if you're not seeking to seek from the source, because that's the provider of the natural universe, then your game going to get weak. Because if you're around a bunch of people whose game is not as strong as yours, I think your game is going to deteriorate. But I just want to touch on something very briefly on the applied knowledge and wisdom. So I have a theme that I think that past, present, and future, I see a correlation related to knowledge, understanding, and wisdom.
I believe you must have knowledge of the past to have an understanding of your present condition to be able to apply wisdom in the future. I just know about it. Thank you.
Dropping bombs every time, bro. And the Roscoe, you had something for us as well.
Well, when I popped in, I liked what you were saying because it's something that I often say myself. That knowledge isn't power; it's the application of knowledge that is power. So I definitely knew you were my kind of people as soon as I heard you say that. Like, oh heck yeah, So this is a sticky room for me. That said, I'm a perpetual student, and as such, I try to remain teachable. So I never assume that I can't learn from someone because no matter who they are, what walk of life they come from, there's something that I can glean of value from them because they have a whole life, they have a whole story, they have a whole perspective. Even if this individual is just a child, I can still learn from them. I actually learned a lesson from a dog one time, and yeah, it was funny because, but it's like, and that's what really made me realize, like how they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I believe that basically everything around us is seeking to teach us. It's just a question, or how I usually say it. And so I'll just go ahead and say it how I usually say it. Is that God is always speaking. It's just a question of whether I'm tuned up enough to listen. And the lesson that I learned from the dog, my mom should not be a pet owner. She is one of those people that if there is a speck of dust anywhere, she is going to seek it out and destroy. She is just not the type of personality that should have an animal that might be messing things up, if you get what I'm trying to say. So she decides just on a whim that she wants to get a dog, right? My son at the time was maybe like 12, 13 years old. I had a male roommate, and then there's me. And my mom decided, because at the time I was a stay-at-home mom, she decided that she was going to get a dog, and I was going to dog sit while she was at work. Now, mind you, only my mom makes plans like this without asking me. So she gets this dog. I told her, don't get the dog. And she was like, I'm getting the dog. I'm going to get a pug. I'm going to get one of those little dogs that's so ugly it's cute. And I'm like, definitely don't get a pug. If you're going to get a dog and you want me to dog sit it, then you want me to like the dog too. And so anyway, she goes and grabs this dog. And this is the most undog-like dog I've ever met in my life. I mean, this dog was scared of everything. All right, the only people that the dog liked was me and my mom, and the dog liked me the best. And I'm like, no. See, that is not going to ensure that you have a home here. You need to get the boys to like you. All right, you need to not be trying to bond with me. But apparently the dog had been abused by men. So anytime my son or my roommate would try and go near the dog, it would snap at him and be real mean. Not like it would really bite him, but, just like stay the fuck away from me, right? So anyways, long story short, this dog is only hanging out with me. And so I'm looking at the dog. I'm mad as hell, right? Because I literally said, I do not want to be dog sitting this dog. And I'm sitting here with this dog on dog now. And so the dog just loved me unconditionally. And it was just like, I don't care that you don't like me. I'm just going to love you anyway. And the dog eventually won me over. You know what I mean? Like, I was so resistant to liking this dog, but eventually its unflagging love and loyalty and all of that kind of stuff won me over.
I think I'm missing the lesson. What's the lesson you got from the dog?
The lesson that I got from the dog is that, one, you can even if someone initially starts off not liking you, they can be won over just by that sort of unconditional type love, and just being unflagging with it, I guess you could say. And I don't know, maybe that's not a lesson that everybody needs to learn, but it was one that I did. You know what I mean? Because we're all at different places, obviously. But anyways, yeah. From that, I learned that, and it was just really interesting because, like I said, everything in me was like, "You don't like this dog. You don't want this dog. This dog has to go away." And we did eventually get rid of the dog. We went through a drive-through one night, Taco Bell, and there was a lady in the Taco Bell that saw the dog in the car and was like, "Oh my goodness, he's so cute." My mom was like, "You want him?" And she was like, "Really?" And she was like, "Yeah, you want him?" And she was like, "Yes, I can have him." And my mom was like, "Shit, yeah." You know what I mean?
All right,
And then
so,
I actually
so the
missed the
lesson
dog.
the lesson was that even if somebody doesn't like you initially, you can over love them.
You can still win them over.
Yeah, you can still win
And
them over.
actually,
Okay.
that's happened to me within my lifetime. Like, I've met people that didn't like me at first, like couldn't stand my cool ass. You know what I mean? And then over the course of time, next thing you know, they're Team Roscoe. And I'm like, when the hell that happened? You know what I mean? But like I said, maybe it's not a lesson that everyone needed to learn, but it was a lesson that I apparently needed to learn. And we got rid of the dog, and I actually missed the damn dog. Not enough to go back and get him, but Anyway,
So what you
that's
got from the proximity of being around the dog was that you can gain people's love by over loving them, right? And I have a challenge for that because I don't feel like that works with everybody, right? I'm in sales, and no matter the compliments, no matter no matter what I say, if somebody's not in a position to buy, they ain't nothing I can do about it, right? If they don't got no money, what can I really do? You know what I'm saying? So
a sales tip.
I don't know.
One sales tip, though, is if you can get them to laugh, you damn near got the sale. All you got to do is close it.
What you got for that, Coach? Hood over Hollywood. You got something for that, bro?
Yeah, it reminds me of some of what the master salesman people say about bringing value over value, right? So yeah, bringing value to people, but bringing a whole lot of value to people, and you will, basically they get familiar with you, and you just sort of get in their universe, and when they need that service, they're familiar with you. You appear to be the master. You appear to be the expert. You're doing it right now. How many sessions? This is what, 35 or in the 30s? You're bringing over value to the community of seekers. And and people gravitate in your world. So the master salesmen do have a concept of bringing value and bringing over value. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, man. And that's like
And as far as
go ahead, Coach.
As far as laughter, that is a great way to as long as it's not something where they feel like you overdoing it, but if you can make it subtle and make somebody laugh, yeah, you have lowered their guard where they might be ready to buy something. But it's not a guarantee, but it is halfway there. So I agree with that.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. I usually kind of joke around with it and kind of play with it. Like even in areas where I'm not actually selling, just to kind of keep my sales hand in. So like when I was working next door at the House of Meats, not because I needed to be working there, but really I just needed to get out of the house because of the renovations, and they were driving me batty because there was always men in the hallway, and these walls with the hallways are paper thin. So it sounded like they were in my apartment with me. I live alone. The shit was eerie. So I just went next door and started working. And so what I started doing was kind of playing with it. And then our boss would throw us little freebies. Like if you sell 5 ribs by, 2:00, you can take a bottle of liquor home. You know what I mean? Or something like that, you know?
Do you know about
And
the
so
are you aware of the 5 steps to the conversation?
you mean as far as sales?
Yeah, as far as sales.
No, actually, I'm not.
All right, so I used 5 of these impact meetings to go over the 5 steps to the conversation, and actually in the first step to the
Wait.
conversation.
Is it posted? Wait. Before you start, is this posted somewhere on your page, these 5 steps, or do I need to be jotting these down?
Oh no, I wasn't about to go over all 5, but yeah, you can find them on YouTube. So these impact meetings, I'm actually live on YouTube at the same time, so you can watch the video of me talking about it. Yeah.
Perfect.
So the
Perfect. Okay,
YouTube is Merch Life Network. But so in the first step to the conversation, in the intro, you have what's called an icebreaker, and the icebreaker is normally something that will make somebody laugh, right? It's a compliment or it's something that, like Coach said, it drops their guard. So I absolutely agree with what you're saying. I don't think that it's a guarantee though. Nothing except value would guarantee a sale. And even then, just because you offer value, it doesn't mean that the person has the funds that you're asking for, right? So nothing guarantees a sale. You know what I mean? We don't want to put that out there and have people thinking that just because you make someone laugh or just because you bring value that they're absolutely going to buy something. Those 2 things, laughter is going to get you closer to that sale, and value is definitely going to get you in the door. But just like Hood Over Hollywood and Coach was saying, you have to have that presence, man. You have to have that. I'm always here talking about publishing books. I'm always here talking about sales. I'm always here talking about content creation. So the moment you need any of that done, I'm going to be the first person you think of. And that's how I use the proximity rule to get my to get my business up and get it going, man. So basically what I'm saying is that the proximity rule works from the inside. When you are becoming the people that you're around, strategically, you would want to surround yourself with people that you want to be like, right? But on the other end, when you're projecting, right? When you're projecting, the proximity rule works in the aspect of you being present in whatever it is that you want to succeed in, right? So like, if I want to be a professional MLB player, I must be somewhere near a baseball diamond practicing on a daily basis, or at least most of my week. If I want to be a bodybuilder, I got to be in the gym a lot. You know what I mean? If I want to be 400 pounds, I need to be eating food all the time. Whatever your goal is, whatever you have in mind for life, the proximity rule works on you when you surround yourself with things, people, and places that exemplify who you want to become.
I like that. It reminds me of something that I heard a teacher, I don't remember which one, but, I listen to a lot of different teachings. But basically, oh my goodness, did I lose it that doggone quick?
All right, last thought, because I got to be out of here pretty soon. So I got about 4 more. I got to be out here at 9:15. So we got until 9:15.
Okay, you said your YouTube. I've been looking for your YouTube channel, and I'm thinking YouTube don't like you.
No, so Merch Life is one word. So you got to type it in a certain way. Merch Life is one word, and then network is the name of the channel is Merch Life Network, and it's all one word, no spaces.
Okay. That should help. Okay, so all of it is one word?
Yes, ma'am. Merch Life Network.
Yeah, because I've been scrolling the whole time you've been talking. Just there you are. Well, hot diggity.
Hey. Let's go. All right, so my man, Coach, you got anything, any final thought for us? Because I know you're gonna drop some bars, and then we're gonna pass it to Hood Over Hollywood, and then we're gonna pass it to Deus for the final thought.
No, I'm just gonna leave it like how I said earlier. If you really want to go somewhere, well, I can add this too. If you really want to go somewhere in life, stop trying to impress your family and your friends. You've already done it before. Do it to the people that you don't know. You know what I mean? Because the people that you know, they're gonna let you down because they don't expect any much more out of you. You got to show them through strangers. Your strangers are going to be your best customers.
Y'all hear that? Hey, yo, Coach, you be speaking to my soul, bro. This is what I be going through, man. I appreciate that, bro. Hey, Hood Over Hollywood, you got any last final thought for the proximity rule and how you can use it to your advantage?
In the 80s, a white guy told me that if you want to be rich or something, that you need to be in that Wall Street. You know, when they do the stocks, they used to have the pit down there in the pit. You need to be there, you know. So you just need to be there, like you say about the baseball. You use the baseball analogy and all that. You just need to show up in those environments, and it'll rub off on you. Thank you.
All right, man. The big boss hog, but not the hog. My man Deus, what you got for the final thought, man?
Man, I hate it. So I would say overall, just remember to be honest with yourself. Honest with yourself on your journey and where you want to go. Like Coach was saying earlier, don't let procrastination stop you. Yeah, don't try to impress your family or your friends. Don't wait for anybody to come save you. To be honest with yourself, do the things that you know you need to do, and the people who are supposed to stay in your proximity will stay there. Definitely don't hide, don't shy away from people, but also protect your peace at all times and stay in line with what you want, because that's the key to getting where we want to go. Peace.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Hood Over Hollywood. Thank you, Deus. Thank you, April, for coming. Y'all can follow Merch Life Publishing. That's right under me, right there. You see that? Thank you to Roscoe One for sliding through. And my man Abraham, my man JD Clark in the bottom. Thank you for being here too, man. I'm Merch Life J, motivational, inspirational speaker for parentpreneurs across the globe. And I'll see y'all tomorrow a.m. You already know.